Hello again. Um, this is Soti. Um, so today, I wanna talk about something a little bit different for sorrow. Is of course, everything is about Buddhism here. So I want to touch on a subject that we call what we call the secret of life. What sounds like a wow. It's a like a big subject. I mean, the secret of life. Are you kidding me? I mean, wow, you know the secret of life, you know. But so let's just have fun with it a little bit, Let's talk and see what see what you think, And you of course up to you to analyze it and think about it, and do your own research and all that stuff. But I'm just letting what um my thinking or my opinion or whatnot that have come up with so far. Okay, so the secret of life, right? We all would love to know that. I mean, that's what that's like a big, probably the biggest subject. I mean, we always want to know who we are and stuff like that. I mean, wouldn't that be wonderful to know what life is all about and things like that? I mean, wow. But so anyway, the secret of life. So, in order for us to understand life, I would go to the other end of life, and then work backward. You know, to have a better understanding. This is my approach, at least anyway. Um, in order to understand the secret of life, in order to understand what life is all about, where life comes from, and things like that. So we need to understand about death also. So what is death, right? So if you understand death, you understand life, and when you understand life, you understand death. So because the two goes together, you cannot have one without the other. So what is death? Um, I'm gonna bring some um, a little study from the Tibetan book called the book of death. Okay, and that book describe about the process of when a person is dying, what is what is he or she is going through. So I'm gonna touch a little bit on that, bring that like a little summary of that, and we'll sum it up and take you back from there and backward. Okay, so a person um, is dying. Okay, is on the last breath. Okay, before, because all the body is shutting down. Okay, one either one sense at a time, or boom 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 boom, your senses going out. Okay, so and a lot of time, I'm sure you heard of people claim that when people die, people will see like a bright light coming, to get them, or like they think, oh, that must be God, or the gate of or heaven, or something that they are going to. So in the book of death, the book of the Tibetan book of the death, it talk about similar thing. Okay, and this is one of the thing that most people do not get to read, or do not get to understand. And because especially when we see the title of the book of death, people sort of like back away, shy away. I don't want to learn anything about that, you know because it sounds so negative already. But it describes, that before your last breath, and when your senses are shutting down, a person would see this luminous light, like a bright shining light. And I think in Christianity it says something of a similar matter. that person, when a person died, the person would go to heaven, I think, to the gate of heaven, and that's where you will be judged, by God, or that at the gate. Okay. And from there, whether you are allowed to go into heaven, the heaven realm, or you get put away to hell. That's I think that's what Judgment Day is all about. That's in Christianity. When you go up there, you see, I think Saint Peter, or something like that. I'm not too much in, no, I don't know much about that in Christianity, but roughly that's all I know. That you go see God, and you will be judged. Okay, so in the book of death, it talks similarly. Okay, that when a person die, you will see a shining bright light also. Okay, and that shining bright light will takes you, takes you to a realm that in Christianity that we call the heaven gate. The shining bright light in Buddhism is you, is us. Okay, it's nobody else. It's us. It's just that we seeing that bright light with our worldly eye. It's the luminous within us that come up. Okay, and that is us. Okay, so, and that bright light will come to meet other lights that I just said, that the will to see God. But in Buddhism, in the Tibetan Book of Death, that light that we come to meet are luminous light, which is you or me, ourself. We as a luminous light will come to, let's say, the gate. Okay, and will come to see, or will come to meet different lights. Okay, and this different light here has many let's say, many gates, not just one gate. Okay, and the gate has different color. It has in order, I don't remember the order exactly, but it has the gate that has blue color, that has yellow color, that has green color, has red color. It has different. And at each gate, there are two lights. Okay, and one is like a very sharp, bright light, and the other light is sort of like soft light. Very soothing light. Okay, so for at that moment, a luminous light, in Buddhism, and according to my understanding, okay, a luminous light will make the choice. Okay, whether we grab onto the sharp bright light, or we'll grab onto the soft, enticing light that is calling us. And it's not that we really have much choice at that time, because our luminous light, as the light of ourselves, our light, our luminous light, at that time, this is according to my understanding, at that time it will be pushed to the light, depending on the force of our karma. Okay, our karma at that time plays a big role. the karma energy that is carried with us within that luminous light that we call us, push the luminous light toward one of those light, whether the sharp bright light or the soft light. And at that moment, if a good wholesome deed karma show up, it will push our luminous light to the right light that we need to go. Okay, and at that particular point, for people who do meditation, only people like the Zen master or the enlightened people, from long time ago, I'm not sure about now, who had done deep meditation, they are able to reach that particular status, and they can recognize the light. That's for the people who have done the proper meditation, who's done good practice meditation into deep meditation. They will recognize the light. Okay, but not very many people achieve or can get to that state. But just let you know, at that time, the light, which our luminous light, which is guided or pushed by karma, will attract to the light that it thinks that is the good light or the right light for it to go. Okay, whether it's right or not, that's a different story. But it's sort of like a magnet that attract metal. So a luminous light with a karma as a baggage, as a weight that we carry with us, that luminous light and will go to choose. We sort of choose between the soft light and the bright, shining, sharp light. For the untrained mind, for the mind that is not clean, for the mind that is never been trained before to understand what those lights are all about, they tend to be afraid of the sharp, bright light, and they run to the soft, light that is calling them. And with the force of karma behind us, most people will choose to go the soft, bright light, which is not the right light to go to. The actual light that we supposed to go to is the sharp, bright light on the right hand side, I think. But because people never train in meditation or never understand what those lights mean, they get afraid. A luminous light get afraid of the sharpness of the light, which is light of the good deed. Okay, so when that show up and we afraid of the good, sharp, bright light, and we run toward the soft light, and based on our karma energy that is carrying us, the luminous light, we take birth according to the weight of the karma that we carry with our luminous light. Okay, So with that, when a luminous light decide to take whatever route, okay, and what another thing is, sometimes there are many times that we go past different gate. Sometimes we are able uh, to pass like the first gate and then go to the second gate, and you have choice again, between sharp bright light. Let's say, for example, the first gate, it has a blue color, the second gate has a yellow color, and the I'm not sure, don't for me, you have to look in the book of the dead. I'm not sure which one comes first, what color comes first, but depending on that, and you will a luminous light will attract, will be, will go to pick one of those light, and depending on our karma, the karma energy will push us toward one of those lights. Okay, but from my understanding, those are luminous light, and those two lights are all the same. Now this is my interpretation. Those two lights and our luminous light, they are one. This is my understanding, my personal understanding. Okay, because it's the law of karma at that time will take control. We have no control over it, and our luminous light will just be carried over according to the deed that we have done in the life that we just ended or life before, and now the karma is come up again. The weight of the karma come up again in a luminous light, and it takes us toward a certain light, a certain gate, that it attract each other. So once a luminous light decide or guided to a particular light at one of the gate, then rebirth take place. A womb will open up, and a luminous light will take birth in that womb, and boom, a luminous light is gone, and that light take birth. Now, what kind of being, what kind of form the luminous light take birth? At that stage, we don't know, because we only see the womb open up. This is according to the Tibetan book of the dead. The womb open up. So a luminous light takes birth in one of those wombs that the luminous light decide to go to, and take up rebirth in that womb at that particular gate, at that particular light, whether the soft light or the sharp light. Okay, and at that time, a new life start, a new being start. Now once you go there, okay, everything, memory, everything is gone, and then new life start. Now we can add that luminous light that would take up birth in that womb. It can take up birth in the womb of a cow, of a human being, of a bird, of a fish or whatnot. We don't know. When we see the light, we just saw the womb. We only see the womb, but we don't know what it is. But boom, you become something depending on the karma weight that we carry. So with that, a new birth, a new life takes place, and a new being takes place, and that being is not us. It's not us anymore, because us, we left the luminous light, left the old body. The old body shut down, finished, and the luminous light continue and take birth. and carry on the weight of the karma, and boom, take birth in another being, and boom, another being is born, but it carries the weight of the karma from us. I hope you follow me. Okay, so now that because of that, that new being is born, they take birth and take new life. And just like I said, it can take new life in different kinds, all kinds of form, depending on the karma that we have. So the new being is a new being with the result of the karma weight that's passed from us. This is according to what I understand, and also according to the Tibetan Book of the Death, describing the process of dying with seeing the different lights. So now from that we take back to life. Okay, now we understand. Now we, if you believe in this, or whatever you take it for, for whatever it is that you want to take, but that's the theory in Buddhism. Okay, so with that, then we come back to understand life, that, oh, okay, so that's what life is all about. That's what the Buddha had described, that we all have been going through this over and over and over again for a gazillion times. We're passing on from one life to the next, come back, and then carry the burden of karma, go through the gate, go through the lives and all that stuff, and take up rebirth in a different being based on karma, and boom, again. And from life to life, see, we pass the weight of karma from one being to the next. It's just that next being is not us, but that next being receive the result of the karma from us. Okay, so, and once you take up birth in the new womb, all the memory is gone, boom, done, it's new, everything starts anew. So that's what life is all about. Okay, by understanding death, what is it that, what is dying? So that's why when the Buddha said, okay, I've seen this, and the Buddha looked through, only the Buddha was able to look through the cycle, and he can backtrack the line, backtrack the line of his life, and the life that is being passed on to him by who, and back and back. He can backtrack many lives, only the Buddha, because he had reached special enlightenment state, the perfect state, that only the Buddha can backtrack and can trace back the lives that he had before. And as he looked back 500 lives, as he had described in the sutra, the life of previous, of Bodhisattva, or the life of being a cow, or when he was born as a monkey, or he was born as human, and all that stuff. And then one after another, it just continue and carry the karma and change and pass it on to the next. It's just like you're running the Olympic, you're passing the baton to the next person. Okay, so when the Buddha see that, and the Buddha said, oh, what a game. I've been through this evolution for so many times, countless times. There is no beginning that I can see. and there is no end that I can see either. But this is a game that I don't want to play anymore, because when there is life, there is obviously aging, there is obviously sickness, and then with ignorance, without understanding all this thing going on, there is suffering. When being die, being cry, and all that stuff, afraid of death and things like that, because all the being don't understand this. Now I have discovered this. Why do I want to go through this over and over again? So that's the reason why. And then he started to investigate. So why is it that we all are going through this never-ending life cycle, one rebirth after another, one birth after another? Why is it? What is it that keep us in this loop of samsara, of this endless loop that we never seem to see the end or beginning? And as he investigates, it comes down to desire. He said, oh, it is because of desire. Desire make us long for this and long for that, afraid of this, afraid of that. We don't understand about the truth of all things. Desire comes from the five senses. All being has senses, whether tactile senses or the vision or the hearing or the taste, the smell, or what. All of the beings have that, whether a deva, or whether you in hell, or whether it's you a hungry ghost or anything, but all being has senses, and those senses are the culprit. They create the longing, they create the greed, they create the anger, the envy, the never-ending craving, and this is what create karma. And this karma has a burden that each luminous mind carries with it. And because of the burden of that karma, every time when we come to the end of one physical body, when the body break down, the burden of karma takes you to the next one, because we don't understand. But for the enlightened one, once we discover that, then we can prepare, we can train our mind to understand that at this stage, this is what's happening. So while we're breathing and living and as a human being, because only human being can comprehend this, other being, animal, insect, or whatnot, or even the heavenly realm people, they cannot comprehend this. Only human realm that can understand this. And while we are here as human, we are the only realm that can reach an escape point that Buddha called nirvana, by get rid of all the desire, by eliminating all this while we are breathing. And once you understand that, you practice and you calm your mind, and now when you understand the whole process, and then you learn the process of letting go. Through meditation, you get to recognize the whole truth. And with that, then people can finish, sort of, can understand when times come, when it's time that the body decides to break down, at that time our luminous mind will be aware of the situation. We are prepared ahead of time, and we will know that, oh, this is a game I don't want to play anymore. I will not be afraid of any light or any sharp light, but I will not be craving for any other desire. And that, with that kind of calm, peaceful light, peaceful feeling, that's when one can reach liberation. So that's a little thing that I want to share today. It's something I believe is very important. If you believe in Buddhism, and you can go ahead and do more research on your own. Read the Tibetan Book of the Death, and things like that. Okay, so until next time, see you later and have a good day or good evening.